So I've been making this slow stitched craft basket and I really loved how it's turned out and I've really enjoyed the making process. So I wanted to share it with you today. This has been a labour of love. It's taken me about a week to slow stitch all of these panels and then to put all the panels together and then to line the bag. So it's got this lining that can sort of flop out and get rid of any dust that collects in there. So yeah, I've also made a little scissor caddy with slow stitch. So my scissors can pop in there and I'm going to sew that to a corner in there with a little button. I've also made 3 other things, so there's one thing for each corner. I've made a sewing thread caddy too, so I can have a couple of sewing threads in my sewing basket. So this slow stitch basket that I've made is going to be my sewing basket, so that will be popped in another corner. My little sewing thread caddy. I've also made a needle pocket holder and that will be attached with a button too, and a tiny weeny pin cushion that will be in the other corner. So yeah, I'm going to sew them in with a button each. So I've attached them inside now with buttons. So we've got our cotton reel caddy in there in the corner. Next we've got our scissor caddy. That's where my scissors will live. And then on the next corner with a lovely ladybird button, we've got our pin cushion. So that will be where we pop our little pins in for our projects. And finally we've got our needle case that has a pre-threaded needle in it, ready to go on our next project. So that's my slow stitched fabric covered sewing caddy. So the way I made this was I got what's called a jelly roll. This is what's left of the jelly roll after I made all this lovely bag. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed making this, just sitting stitching quietly of an evening with my husband doing his artwork. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to using that. So yeah, I just want to quickly show you how to make it in case you want to make your own. So I've got a jelly roll of fabric. And this is what a jelly roll looks like if you haven't used one before. It's long strips of different fabrics. So I'm going to make another box soon. And the nice thing with the jelly roll is that they've sort of coordinated it or clashed it on purpose. So the fabrics go together quite well in what you get in your jelly roll. So then I also got some curtain lining, which has got a fleecy back to it and a nice smooth front, but it's quite stiff. So that's what I use to put my fabric onto to create the box, the fabric box. So it stands upright because it's got this blackout curtain lining with a fleecy back to it. And all I did was I selected pieces of the fabric, I cut different lengths and I laid it on the fuzzy side. So if you keep the nice smooth side as your back, you wouldn't even have to line it. It's just I was having so much fun with my slow stitching that I decided to line my box as well. But if you put the material on the fuzzy side, one, it sticks, so you don't need pins as much. And 2, you won't have to line your box if you don't want to. So you just continue laying your pieces of fabric on your curtain lining in whichever pattern you like that pleases your senses, and then you stitch them on. So you can either do what I've done here, which is a cross stitch, so you can see the stitching a little bit, so it's just in and out with a cross stitch, or you can lay them like that, so the seam is underneath, so you can't see the seam, and that you would do by, so that way you would, this way you can do the crisscross so you can see the stitches. If you didn't want to see the stitches, you would lay it right side to right side, stitch down that seam, and then fold it over like that so the stitching's behind, and you go round and round laying your pieces on right side to right side, stitch one side and then bring it forwards, and yeah, you just keep going and going until you've covered your complete panel. And you'll need 5 panels for the box, obviously the 4 sides and the base. So that's what my base looks like. And then I got some bias binding, some tape, contrasting colour, and just sewed that on. But I also left the sewing stitches as part of the detail. So this isn't a particularly neat stitched project, but that's the point of slow stitching. It's just meant to be that you enjoy the actual sewing rather than getting too pernickety about how it looks. And then I think you'll agree the end result is stunning. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it and just wanted to share it with you all, how to do it. Hi, if you're liking my content today, it'd be great if you could hit the like button, share and subscribe. This will help other people find my channel and I really appreciate it. And if you want to connect further with me and in my crochet world, click the comment section below and there'll be links to my free ebook on beginner crochet stitches, my patterns and tons of other stuff to help you with your crochet, knitting and sewing. Thanks for watching.